Welcome to Bo Boxing No Problem. I'm Jose Marin Jr. and I'm joined by my co-host David, aka Sports and Tunes. And we got a very special guest tonight. We got a pro boxer from Pico Rivera, California, Nathan and Morenito Rodriguez. How's it going,
Thank
Chan?
you. Thank you guys for having me. Good, man. Blessed. I can't complain.
Glad to hear. Well, we appreciate you making the time to give us some minutes to talk some boxing with you.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do this.
All right, great. Well, first question we got for you is I'm sure the question you get asked all the time. It's like if they take a shot every time you get asked this question. But it's how did you get into boxing?
So it actually started with my older brother. I'm not sure if you guys know who my older brother Angel is. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
They call him Moreno. Brother. He actually started boxing first. He was about, I believe, 15 years old. I was 12 when I started. I played baseball most of my life. I started at like the age of 12 until I was about 12 years old. And I always like trying new sports, trying out new things. And I was begging my parents to put me in the gym so I can try it, but they didn't want me to do it. Not even my older brother, because I mean it's a dangerous sport. But after begging and begging, they finally put me in. And then after about maybe 2 weeks of training, they had put me to spar at the gym, and just from there, just the adrenaline rush is where I was like, man, I like this. Felt like,
That's right.
That's
yeah,
right. Is that also how you got the nickname of Morenito? Because your older brother was in Moreno, so you became a Morenito?
Morenito, yeah, younger, yeah. So,
Nice, nice. And can you tell us a little bit about your amateur career? What were some of your major accomplishments from back in the day?
well, I didn't have a big amateur back, but fights, which is uh, and fights were regular shows. I didn't do no tournaments, no Golden Glove, uh, junior league, none of that. They were all just local shows.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
So then can you tell us about your pro debut in Costa Rica? You debuted back in January 30th, 2021 on the
yeah.
Costa Valle undercard. What was that experience? Were there any nerves?
No, it's funny actually, because in the amateurs, I would usually get nervous before my fights, but ever since my first professional fight, I haven't felt no type of nerves. Just more confident, more ready than anything. Excited, and like you said, yeah, I debuted January 21st. No, January 31st, right? I believe it was, or 30th,
The 30th,
30th
yeah, 30th.
of 21. I was 60 years old at the time, and just the country uh, treated me like like family. The support was real. It was awesome, man. I definitely love to go back and fight over there for sure.
That's right. Yeah, so Costa Rica, that's Yoka's hometown, right?
Yeah, Yoka's hometown. Yes, correct.
Absolutely, champ. And then, can you guys still hear me? Okay, because it looks like my mic will cut out. But can you guys hear me?
You're good. You're
All right.
good.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
next question we got for you, Moritos. You had 6 fights in Costa Rica, and then you had another 2 fights in Mexico, before finally you got your homecoming fight in Pico Rivera in August 22nd against Moises Flores. Can you tell us, how it felt to finally fight in front of your hometown as a pro?
yeah. I mean, it was just crazy. Something that was surreal. Just to have all my family, my friends, people who I went to school with, who I grew up with, just to be there. Also, the city of Pico Rivera, they helped to put the show together, and the mayor and a lot of big other names were there supporting. So it was definitely something motivating for me, just to keep training hard. And it was a good turnout. There was, I want to say, maybe about 2-3 thousand people maybe that night. So it was definitely I had fun, and I hope everyone else did.
Absolutely.
That's good. That's
Yeah, it's
great.
always good to see El Morenito. I actually had the honor of meeting him in person and getting a picture at the Chonzapeda. And his fight was just amazing. It was fireworks from the beginning.
Thank you,
I
thank you.
gave him mad props that night.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, and I mean, you've been moving your career at such a great pace. Like I know you're already starting to get the another nickname, the Pride of Pico Rivera. So that just speaks volumes to what you're doing. For in the boxing ring and representing your hometown.
Yeah, definitely. That's a big thing, especially in Pico when I played baseball. The support over there, that's how we always were and how we carried our name, Pico, wherever we went. So I'm carrying it, but this time in boxing instead of baseball, and I'm trying to take it far.
That's right.
Absolutely, champ. And we got a comment here from Skywalker Boxing. Hashtag the winning team says saludos. So
What's
saludos,
up?
Skywalker.
Yeah, I also wanted to add a little bit to that. It's crazy how LA is so big, like every other country. I mean state, but how they all separate each other, where they represent where they're from. Like some people, they'll be like Boyle Heights, South Central, East Los Angeles, and now it's Pico Rivera.
Pico
Uh-huh.
Rivera.
That's right. And speaking of kind of big in scale, your last fight was a very big card. You're on the number 26 on the Cepeda versus Prograis undercard. Marv Nation did a phenomenal job just with the whole promotion and that big fight feel for it. And you had a great performance as well. You fought Jerson Ortiz. You got the two knockdowns in round 3. How would you rate your performance for that fight?
I think I did pretty good. Like I said, I didn't have a big amateur background, so I'm learning on the job. And he was a veteran. He had experience. He had been in multiple fights for championship belts. That's a fight that I want, because like I said, I gotta learn. I'm learning on the job, so I definitely learned a lot from that fight. The full 8 rounds, I'm getting in my rounds too, which is really big. So I think it was a great turnout. I'm glad me and my opponent come out healthy, and I was able to come out with the win.
Yeah.
Absolutely, champ. And we saw on the social media, you got a new trainer now. You're joining Team Canelo, training under Eddie Reynoso. How did that come to be, and what was your decision to join Team Canelo?
Yeah, well, it was started with my dad. Because more on the business side. My dad was co-promoting and fighters fight on Eddie's fighters fight on my dad's card. So my dad was building a relationship with him little by little, and once he built that relationship, he asked if maybe go out there and train, just to be around there. And it was a big blessing, and I want to thank Eddie Reynoso, Canelo, and all them there to that opened their doors for me, to welcome me into that camp.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Do you have to make the drive every day, or are you stationed out there with them?
Oh yeah, I'm staying out here in San Diego. It'll be too much, especially with traffic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Get stuck in rush hour. It's a wrap.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, speaking of opportunities, already looks like you're gonna get the opportunity to fight under Canelo's next card. May 6th in Zapopan, Jalisco, Mexico. What can fans expect from you on May 6th?
Well, definitely a different version of myself. I believe my other fights. Obviously, like I said, I'm learning, but this time I'm gonna be more how I usually fight in sparring. I fight different, and I'm pretty sure everyone else does too. But when they're sparring and they're fighting, sometimes is different. But I think I'm gonna show off more of my defense, along as with my offense, and along with I'm learning over here at this camp. So
That's right. And I just love the way how Eddie Reynoso, he focuses a lot on the defensive aspect of it. So I'm
yeah,
sure we're gonna see a lot of cool little head movements and little dodges here and there from El Morenito on his next fight.
yeah, definitely. Defense is very important. You want to take the least amount of damage as you can.
That's right.
Yeah, and you'll be opening up the pay-per-view undercard, so that's huge. A lot more
Yeah.
eyes on Morenito.
Oh, definitely. It's a big blessing. I'm excited, especially in Guadalajara. I actually have family that's out there, have some friends too. So it's gonna be cool, just to be able to fight in front of them, and in general, just in Mexico, it's gonna be cool.
I think they're gonna break this weekend's Clasico record on attendance.
Wow, I can see
Hopefully,
that.
yeah.
I can see that. And then I see your opponent still hasn't been determined. Monito, have there been any names that have been shared with you, or is that still kind of still be negotiated?
Uh, I'm not sure. I believe they might be locking in someone soon. There's a couple names. They're just trying to finalize everything, and it should be announced pretty soon.
Nice.
Awesome, can't wait. Yeah, and I know sometimes you're really too early and negotiations go sideways. So once
Yeah.
it's official, look forward to supporting you, homie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
and then you're currently listed on BoxRec as as a 122 pounder. Are you still
Mhm.
making the weight comfortably, and that's where you plan to campaign at, or is there any move to
Uh,
126 in the future?
I still can. My last fight, I weighed in at 123, and it was funny because actually that whole last week I'm usually running and working out, cutting off the last few pounds. But my last fight, actually, I rested the whole week. I just ate and slept, and I didn't have to work out. I came in at 123. Um, but I believe over here, I'm still growing. I'm barely 18. I'm gonna be putting on muscle, so I don't want to drain my body too much. So I might be moving up to 126 and just staying there.
That's right. Get that pound for pound going.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, Morenito, you're only 18 years old. You're already taking on tough opponents, and last year Marv Nation had you as their prospect of the year. What are some things you want to focus on and improve on before you challenge for a world title?
We'll just keep taking these tough fights, get that experience before I go into a big fight like that. Maybe a couple more fights. And I'm sure my next fight on the May 6th card is gonna be with another veteran. Those are the type of fights that I want, that I can learn from. So just tough fights like that before I go into a big fight like that for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then how do you prepare for fights? Do you watch a lot of tape on your opponent and study their style, or do you kind of focus on you and leave that up to your coach?
No, sometimes I watch some film on them, and I see what or what their pros and cons are. And when I'm in the gym, we'll work on stuff like that, and sparring on the bags, drills, whatever it is. Yeah, we definitely do our study.
That's what's up. And then for sparring, do you have to travel far, or is it all pretty close to you? For sparring, Monita,
What was that? It kind of cut off.
for sparring, do you have to travel far, or is it pretty close to you?
Well, so far, they have came to the gym here, so I haven't been. I didn't have to travel. They usually come here, so
Nice.
yeah.
And then who's the hardest puncher you've been in the ring with, either in sparring or in a pro fight?
Um, I'd probably say there's probably two guys. Because usually when I'm sparring, when I'm fighting, I really don't feel punches. But maybe the hardest guys. I've sparred with Rayo Valenzuela.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a bigger guy. He's 135 pounder, But
Yeah.
all that experience for me, so I was willing to get in that ring and get that experience. And also Venado Lopez. That
Yeah.
guy's tough.
Yeah, and then but now it hits you from those kind of like weird angles, so you don't see them coming.
Yeah, those punches coming.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're a hard puncher yourself, Monito. 7 of your 10 wins have been by knockout. Have any other fighters commented either in sparring or in a pro fight, about your power?
Well, actually, a lot of people tell me, even trainers and stuff like that. People tell me like I hit like I'm 20 or in my 30s. They tell me I don't hit like I'm like for my age, or I hit like a 140 pounder. So I definitely do get a lot of comments about my power.
It's a solid manpower.
Yeah. Well, I still haven't got my man strength yet. I'm
Yeah, it's still growing into it.
Sheesh.
ready getting it.
Yeah. Who was your favorite boxer growing up?
Well, definitely, Canelo, especially coming from a Mexican family, that's who we would like, or who we would love to watch all the time. Um, and I also like, boxers who have like that Mayweather style, that boxing style, because I can be a boxer, or I could be a brawler. I can do both styles, So I just like to watch both styles or different styles and pick up different things from each style.
That's good.
That's good. That's how you do it. And
Mhm.
then who was now present day, who do you consider to be the number one pound for pound fighter?
I'd say Canelo.
Canelo.
He's doing things that people wouldn't dare to do. Like fighting before, moving up in that much weight. A
Mhm.
lot of people the respect and the credit he deserves for that. But he's fighting, champions, and a lot of people still kind of say things about him. But I say he's pound for pound.
Still pound for pound.
Yeah, can knock that resume. And then now we want to kind of go into what we call the fan section. It's where we're gonna mention some fights, and we're gonna ask for your predictions for who's gonna win. If it's too close to call, you can always just say pass or 50-50. But the first fight I want to ask you about, it's in your current weight class. Stephen Fulton versus the monster Naoya Inoue. Who do you think's gonna win that one?
That's gonna be a good fight. I think maybe I have to go with the monster. His speed, his accuracy, his power. Um, it might be too much for him, but we'll see how Fulton does. He's also a great fighter. I don't take anything away from him. But I'll go with monster on that one.
Yeah, and it goes back to kind of like what you said, like two styles clashing. Right, you got the boxer in Fulton, very very great technique, and then you got the puncher in Noya, who's also a good boxer himself. So yeah,
Exactly.
it's gonna be a good one. The next fight I want to ask you about is the one happening this weekend. Kind of grudge match between David Navidez versus Caleb Plant. How do you think that fight's gonna play out?
That's a good one too. I think Caleb Plant is gonna box him towards the later rounds. I think he's gonna put up a fight, but I think David Benavidez is gonna finish it off maybe with a KO.
Yeah, so far back to back with monsters. We got the Mexican monster on that one.
Yeah.
Next one I want to ask you about. This is the fight between Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia happening in Vegas in April. How do you see that one?
That's a 50-50 fight too. Gervonta has the power. He has the speed. His reflexes, that's crazy. His counter punching. But Ryan also has the length, the speed, the power. It just depends what kind of Ryan Garcia we see that night. I believe, Ryan Garcia has a power to knock out Tank and vice versa, So I think it's going to end in a knockout by one of them.
You heard here, folks. It's not going to a decision. So
not a distance.
Not going the distance. And then the last fight I want to ask you about is 140 pounds. It's Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez.
That's a good one. I'd probably say a good one. Maybe Teofimo. Depending if he comes strong 100%, I believe Teofimo can win that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's gonna be the key. So which Teofimo are we gonna get?
Yeah.
All right. We're going back to you, champ. What are some things you like to do outside of boxing? What are some of your hobbies and interests?
Just spend time with my family. Me right now, and for the last couple of years, my life's just been boxing, just working out, boxing. But besides that, just family, just chilling. I don't really do much. I don't really go out too much. Just always in the gym, just focus. But besides that, just family. Spend time with the family.
That's right.
Nice. And then what's the best piece of advice you would give someone that wants to make a career out of boxing?
Just to stay focused and discipline is gonna take you very far. Me, like I said, I don't have that much experience in the amateurs or even in boxing. I only have 6 years. I feel like I started late compared to other boxers. They started when they were 4 or 5 years old. Like I said, I'm learning on the job, but every time I've been in the gym, I always give it 100%. I've been focused, discipline, late night, early morning. So stay disciplined, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
That's right.
That's right, champ. That's the secret sauce right there. Is the hard work and motivation, dedication.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Well, Morenito, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure to talk some boxing, get to know you a little bit better. Everybody, please give Morenito a follow on Instagram. You can see it here in the banner that's scrolling below us. It's at El Morenito Boxing on IG. So give that a follow. And Morenito, man, your career's off to a great start. Sky's the limit. We look forward to seeing you achieve your dreams.
Appreciate that. Thank you guys for having me again. I
No
appreciate
problem,
it.
Morenito.
Nah, man, thank
Thank
you. And everyone, don't miss out. It's gonna be a good ass fight. So don't sleep on El Morenito.
May 6th.
Thank you.
Don't forget the
May 6th.
pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right, Irfan, thank you,
You guys-
champ. Have a good
All
night.
right, man. Get some rest, champ.
Definitely. I will right now. Good night.
All right.
All right, good night.
Good night, brother.